Hi, and welcome back to this GitHub Action tutorial series. So in this topic, we're going to learn about use of encrypted secrets and environment variables as a part of our workflow. So we have some subtopics. So if I just switch my slide, so the subtopics are like how to use the encrypted secrets to store sensitive information, identify the available default environment variables during the construction of the workflow, identify the location to set custom environment variables, identify when to use the GitHub token secret, and demonstrate how to use the workflow commands to set environment variables. So we're going to go through with all this topic by using an example, a real YAML file. So let's just jump on to the Visual Studio Code. So let me just come out. So this is the repository we have been using throughout our tutorials, and we're going to keep using the same one. So before I go there, let me just quickly make sure that there are no enabled. So that we got this one example enabled. So I'm going to disable this just to kind of allow new workflow files to run. And then I'm going to jump on to my Visual Studio Code, which is here. Hopefully if you are following all the previous tutorials, you have the similar uh, repository. So if I just go in here, so our first topic is to use encrypted secrets to store sensitive information. So I have an example ready. So without wasting your time, I'm just going to create a new YAML file and I'm going to call it use secrets and .yaml, and I'm going to copy and paste the example I already have created. So one second, on my different screen, one second, got it. So copy that and paste it on my Visual Studio Code, and then we're going to go through with the code. Yeah, so it's very simple. What we are saying that this is the name. We are running on the main branch. Obviously, we have went through all this in our previous tutorials. We have two steps in here. One of them is checking out the repository, and the second step, which is the important step, is using the secret. You see here, API key. So what we are saying that we want to call, we want to curl, sorry, we want to curl to this API. We are passing this API key, and we want to know the weather of London City. Now, in order to get the API key, what you need is we need a free account on this site. So what I'm going to do is go back to our Google Chrome and just quickly take a look. I think I'm already logged in, but let's have a look. That's the site. And I think I'm logged in already. But if you are not logged in, you just literally kind of use your email address and create a password to create the login. It's not difficult at all. So and it's not paid, it's free. So that's what you need to do. If you go to the dashboard, it will give you your API key, and this is what we need in order for us to kind of create the secret. So I'm going to copy this and go back to my repository, and what I'm going to do is go to the settings, and I think it's in the secrets here, yeah, and action secrets, and then I'm going to create manage environment secrets. Oh, sorry, I'm going to just create a new repository secret and just going to give this a name, what we have give in the file, which is the API key, and copy the thing again and paste it here. That's it. So once you save this, you won't be able to see your secret. Yeah, so you press add secret, and that's it. It's there, and we then should be able to use the secrets as a secrets dot name of the secret. Yeah, so this is where we have to pass our our secret. So let's see what happens when we run this file. So git cool, that's gone. Let's take a look at the repository, to the actions. It's running already. This secret. There we go. So it has run correctly. Let's have a look what it has done. So you can see it has run using the secret command, using the secret command, and you can see it has made the call and managed to get the JSON response from the API with various details. And I think what we are looking for is the time zone. It's the weather code. So temperature is 6 at 6:42 a.m. Yeah, yeah, if that makes sense. So this is how you use it. This is how you use the secret from the repository secret. Now our next topic was to identity. Let's have a look from the beginning. Identify the available default environment variable during the construction of the workflow. So yep, let's take a look at that one as well. So I also got an example ready for that one as well, but we're going to go through with the example on our side. Okay, so this is a bit simple as well. So if I go to the Visual Studio Code again and create a new file called use environment, maybe use environment.yaml, and just going to paste my example here. Again, same kind of theme, name, running it on the main, but this is the important bit which we want to discuss. So these are the different kind of environment variables. There's lots of different environment variables. So this is the thing they can ask you in the exam that let's say if you want to print the workflow name, what is the right environment variable you're supposed to be using? And let's say if you want to print the name of the user, what what is the right environment variable you're supposed to be using? So this is quite helpful. I think I also have a link to the documentation which I will post at the part of the video description, but I'll show you very quickly. So if I open this, you see, hopefully somewhere at the bottom here. So default environment variables, and these are all the default environment variables. So I would recommend just to kind of go through with all this variables at least once before your exam, just to kind of just read through to just get you an idea of what it is. Obviously, we're not going to use each and every one on our example, but we will use some important one. So on our example, what we have is we got the GitHub workflow, GitHub repository, reference, GitHub SHA, and GitHub actor. And this is the runner information, so runner OS and runner temp directory. Yeah, so let's see what it prints when we commit this. Before I do that, I'm going to quickly turn off the job because we don't need it anymore. We have already seen it. Stop it to keep calling then the API calls. Okay, so just do the same thing. So git add, git commit, and we're going to call it use default environment variables. Paste it there, and then we're going to do git push. Good. So that's gone. Let's have a look what has happened on the GitHub Actions. So if you go back in here again, so it's running the file, It says printed already, and let's see what it did in the print repository information. So workflow name default is default animal variable example. Yeah, so that's the name of the workflow. Repository name, so that's the repository name. That's what we are working on. Branch, that's the branch. Commit SHA, that's the commit SHA when we committed our change. And actor is the user itself, which is hands-on lab Chirag. Printer information. So run information is run OS is Linux because that's what we ask it to use, and the temporary directory it's using to set up this workflow is the runner work underscore temp. Yeah. So hopefully that all makes sense. So yeah, that's the default environment variables for you. So the next topic we have is the identify the location to set the custom environment variable. So again, let's go back on to the Visual Studio Code. Let's disable this very quickly because we don't want to keep it running and confuse us when we come back. So let me just quickly copy the next, which is that one. Okay, that's a little bit interesting one. Let's find out. Copy and go back to the Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to name this as a location environment variable. Location environment variable.yaml, and this is what I pasted just here. But let's go through with this step by step. So again, same kind of theme, name, pushing on the main branch. Here, what we have done is we have defined some global environment variables, So you can do that by just creating env and colon and the name of the variable and whatever the value you want to pass. Yeah. So I've got three different environment variables, global environment variables, which I can use anywhere uh, on my job source steps. Yeah. So this is the three variables we have set. Now we're going ahead and we're setting up the jobs. So this is our first job, and I think this is the only job we have. We're going to run it on the Ubuntu latest. Then we set other environment variables at the job level. Now we are saying job environment is staging. We are saying the job API URL, whatever you want to say. And just notice here, what I also did is I have set up a exactly same name of the environment variable, but at the jobs level. So we have one at the global level, one at the job level. We're going to see what happens when we print them, yeah? Because this is an exam question. And the next bit is the steps. And the steps, we are just printing everything. So we are printing the global app name, we are printing the job UPR. So I'm sure you are aware of this because of your we have done that multiple time in our previous tutorial. In the next step, what we are also doing, we are setting up more environment variables, but at the step level, So we are setting up this, and we are setting up this step var and step message. So hopefully that makes sense. So we set up at a global level, we set up at a job level, and we can set up at the uh, step level. Then in the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to dynamically set the environment variable. So we are saying that echo dynamic variable, and this is our value, and we are sending it to GitHub env environment variable. So it will collect all the environment variable, and we can use it where we like to use it. Uh, Obviously, you can set something else here. You can set something a value comes out of the operation and then assign it to here, and it will go here, and then you can use it here. That's why it is dynamic, but we are just passing a hard-coded value here for now, and then we are just printing those values directly into this step. So hopefully that all makes sense. Let's see when we commit this, what is the output, because I'm sure you would be interested to know what happened to this same name variables. So let's just do git add git commit and it's going to not and just say use location element variable. There we go. And we do git push origin head. Hopefully that's gone. So if we go back to our Visual Studio Code, sorry, our repository, and hopefully that has started running. So let's see. Oh, it's finished already. So let's see what happened. So let's just open this side by side. We want to use that. Um, so these are the jobs. These are the steps. So global uh, print global jobs variable is our first job. So let's see what has happened here. So it has printed global app name, which is global app name that, which is my global app. That's what we said, my global app here. We said environment as a production. That's what we said, environment, and that's what is printed. Job env, we said job environment. Uh, job environment. Where is job environment? Here, sorry, staging. So we said staging and job environment, which is set at the job level. We said staging. We said job API URL. It's that, which is that. API URL, and that's that here. That's all good. The last was the output variable, and we said test env. Now we set the test env multiple time at the global level as well as at the job level. But see what it has selected. So it has selected at the lowest level. So just remember that whenever the environment variable is duplicated or it's the same name, it's always going to use the nearest level. So if you would have set another environment variable at the step level with the same name, it would have used the one which is at the step level. You know, so hopefully that makes sense. On the next step with custom environment variable, let's see what has happened. We said steps base value, and this is steps value. That's what it has done, and it's printed correctly. And on the next stage step, we are dynamically setting up the variables. So you go whatever, and in the next step we are printing it, and hopefully it has printed correctly. That dynamic variable is this, and it's hello world. So yeah, hopefully that has all made sense. Let's quickly disable this job as well. We want to delete it. We want to disable it. Disable workflow. Cool. So that's that. Our next topic is identify when to use a GitHub token secret. So whenever we run a workflow, you by default you can get a GitHub token. Not sure if it's showing here, but I think it here. So by default it will give you a GitHub token, and which you can use to do a different uh, action on the repository. So we're going to use an example to do similar things. So let's see what we have here. So it's going to copy that. One second, you probably won't be able to see that because I'm on a different screen, but I will be copying the same example on uh, our file. One second. So I'm going to create a new one. Sorry, where is it gone? And keep this open here as well. Oops, not that one. is GitHub token. Why is it? Okay, create. Mm. So on this top, on this workflow, what we have is that again same theme. And then what we're saying that we're going to run it on the Ubuntu latest. This is the name of our step, create an issue. So what we are going to do is we're going to create a step using the GitHub token. So let's see how that works. So what we did is we just use the secret GitHub token and assign it to the token variable. And what we are doing is we are making a curl request to the GitHub APIs to create the issue. The issue is just simple. We're just saying that there's issues on the GitHub, but we want to see if it can able to, if this use of this GitHub token can able to post the secret on the repository or not. So let's take a look. So if I save this and if I do git add um, use of GitHub token and git push. Cool. So that's gone. Let's take a look at what has done on the on here. So refresh that. It has done successfully. What did it do? Let's see. Create an issue. It says not access. So it has managed to make the curl request and call the API, but on the API is getting 403. I think I know why it is doing that. So let's take a look at the repository and let's go to the settings. And I believe it's in actions, Chandra. And if you scroll down here, workflow permissions, and you can see choose the default permission granted to the GitHub token when running the workflow in this repository. You can specify so at the moment we only have the read repository contents on the package permission. What we need, because we are posting the new issue, we want to give a read and write permission. So that's what it is. So make sure you change that if you're going to use the token to post an issue. I think if you're just reading the issue from the API, this should be enough. But we are posting a new issue and we'll need a read and write permission. So save this and go back to the actions again. And I'm going to go back in here again and I'm going to rerun this. Let's see what happens. Hopefully that should be running now. There we go. Create an issue. Let's see what did it do. Okay, so this is a good output. That's what we are looking to see. So it managed to hopefully post an issue. There we go. Automated issue. And we are seeing this issue on the created in the GitHub token. You see, so that's what we said. We want to this is the issue GitHub token. So again, this is how you use the GitHub token. You make sure that you use you have a correct permission when using the GitHub token, and depending on what job you're trying to do. But yeah, that's how you use the GitHub token. Let me just quickly disable this, and we have this very last topic on uh, our slides, which is demonstrate. So we went with the GitHub token, and the next topic is demonstrate how to use workflow commands to set environment variables. I think we have went through this multiple time, but just for sake of this, let's just quickly take a look. So I have example already. Uh, Again, what we're going to do is just simply use the environment variables. So copy that, copy to Visual Studio Code, and create a new file. Mm, just gonna give a random name and paste the example I already have. So again, same kind of theme, name on main branch. We have a mixed environment name job, and then we are running it on the Ubuntu. The environment variable we set here is static variable, so just like static var, and then we're setting this hard-coded text. Then in the steps, what we are doing is we're saying that if you are, we have the if condition here, and then if we what we are seeing, we are using these github.ref environment variable, default environment variable, and we are saying if it matches to the main branch, then we want to say that it's a production branch, production in the dynamic var environment variable. And if it's not the main branch, we are saying that it's a staging. Yeah. So simple, very simple, and we are storing that into GitHub env, and then we're going to use that as a environment variable and printing it here in the next step. So simple if condition, then using it into the next step to print them out. So let's see what happens when we push this change. So git add, git commit, and git push. So that's hopefully pushed now. Let's take a look at the at here. And this has gone through, and let's take a look. It has done already. So set job, obviously is fine. Set dynamic variable, so it's just setting up, so we won't be able to see any kind of proper output on here. So let's take a look at what happened when it says use variable. So it's printed the static variable fine because that's what we set, and it has printed production because it has went to the first condition where it is said set it has went into this condition because it is the main branch, and this is what it has set GitHub env. So yeah, hopefully that has made sense. That's the end of this tutorial. So we have went through with all the topics with the examples. Hopefully that has all made sense. If you follow along with this tutorial, you should get all the experience you need to pass the exam. Good. Thank you for joining, and hopefully I shall see you in the next topic. Thank you. Bye bye.